The first half of the 2022 season is behind us, and if we were to recap it in 3 words, ours would be, what a season! We're seeing closer racing than ever. Although Red Bull seems to be in a league of its own, they were frequently challenged by Ferrari throughout the season. The midfield is more compact than ever, and we've seen HAAS and Alfa Romeo climbing up the ladder this season. However, we cannot help but notice the poor strategic calls of Ferrari and the reliability issues of their engines. They lost Leclerc so much at the championship that the Monegasque is currently 80 points behind Verstappen in the championship. A team that hasn't folded in its reliability is Mercedes, as they have very good form, considering the fact how they started the season. With them having decent finishes recently, Ferrari should be really afraid of how the second part of the season will unwind for them. Why? Stick around with us to find out more. Before we talk about the Ferrari-Mercedes potential rivalry, let's talk about how the season started and how Ferrari managed to put itself in this situation. They were a team that challenged Red Bull at the front and a team that had 46 points lead in the Drivers' Championship after the first 3 races, with Leclerc leading the way. However, Ferrari saw the momentum being shifted to Red Bull as Leclerc lost valuable points to Verstappen and is very close to losing second place in the championship. After Baku, Leclerc lost P2 place in the championship to Perez but managed to regain it after winning the Austrian GP. But Perez is having a downfall in his performance and isn't a huge threat to Ferrari drivers as he continues with this form. One team that they should be afraid of is Mercedes, as the team has constantly climbed on the podium since Montreal. In the last 2 outings, both of the Mercedes drivers share the podium in the same manner, with Hamilton finishing P2 and Russell P3. That enabled Russell to regain the P4 place in the championship ahead of Sainz, who finished P4 in Hungary.
Hamilton is now closer than ever in P6 with 146 points.
It seems like the Silver Arrows have found a pace in their car at the ending stages in the first half of the season, starting from Silverstone and above. Up until Silverstone, Mercedes' podium finishes were mostly due to the competition being out of the fight for the first 3 places. However, in Silverstone and above, Mercedes have upgraded their game and started to perform much better than before. One of the reasons why is because the team started to regularly bring upgrades to every race, as in the Hungarian GP, Mercedes have brought lots of updates on their beam wing, higher downforce front wing, and they brought back the boomerang winglets sitting astride the W13's halo. This has resulted in George Russell taking his first career pole position ahead of the Ferrari drivers, as Hamilton had issues with his DRS and started P7. But when the race started, Hamilton jumped both the Alpine drivers and passed Norris in the early stages of the race, so he put himself in the mix for the podium finishes. He was followed by Max, who managed to do a really good job with a pit stop strategy and jump both Mercedes drivers there. But what's even more worrying for Ferrari is that they have struggled to pass Mercedes in a pure race. True, Leclerc managed to pass Russell, but at the beginning of the season, this would have been done much quicker and much swifter. After Ferrari messed up their strategy and put hard compound tyres, it was much easier for Mercedes to pass them and finish at the 2nd and 3rd place on the podium, with Leclerc falling all the way to P6 behind the top 5 contenders. After the Hungarian GP, Ferrari lost a significant amount of points in the Constructors' Championship lead compared to Mercedes. Although the Silver Arrows were slow at the beginning, thanks to their reliability issues, they've managed to stay in the mix for at least 2nd place in the championship. Now that doesn't seem like a far-fetched goal for the Brackley-based team, as they will likely continue with this dominant matter in the second half of the season. As for Ferrari, they would have to sit down and do their homework if they want to defend against the attacks from Mercedes, who are hungry for more.